Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Habakkuk Radash. And I would also like to give a double honors unto the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who do rule well, that have taught me this truth. And I would also like to say a sincere shalom unto the hopeful elect, unto the scattered elect, unto the brothers, the prophets, the men that are prophesying, laboring in this truth and in this doctrine. Unto you I say shalom. Your Gentile arguments don't trump the birthright. All right, so you got, recently in Israel, you got a lot of confusion going on about who the Gentiles, and can they receive salvation. But at the end of the day, the birthright went to Jacob. Okay, Jacob's supplanted Esau for the birthright. So the birthright is really all that matters, because within the birthright is salvation for who? Israel. Okay, and I actually looked it up in Chat GPT, and I'm going to read some some information out of there, but it's simple. Okay, the blessing, the birthright went to Jacob. It never went to Esau or his descendants or heathens. The heathen. So this was a promise that the Most High, even before Genesis, the Most High made to Abraham back in Genesis the 17th chapter. Okay, but not the Jacob, the blessing went to Jacob. Okay, and the blessing represents um, having dominion, rulership, the kingdom of heaven. Okay, the salvation. Okay, and that seed, the seed of Jacob, were the only ones who could receive salvation. Who were the only ones that have made a covenant that receive the first covenant and also will receive the second covenant. So salvation, blessings, inheritance from the Most High, rulership, it wasn't extended to the heathens. It wasn't extended to Esau, because Esau despised the blessing, and I'm going to get that. Okay, but you got this Gentile argument is ridiculous. Okay, when you go back, before Jake became Gentiles and the Gentile state of mind, they were still Israelites. They still had made a covenant. They still made an agreement with the Most High. They were given the laws and statutes and commandments from the Most High. All right, there was promises made in well, not, yeah, yeah, promises made. The Most High gave His word unto Abraham that his seed would. Let me get that. I'm gonna start with that. You know what? Because I was going to start at Genesis 27, the blessing. Let me start with Genesis 17, and I'm going to go to verse 7. And I established my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee, and in their generations, an everlasting covenant, to be a power unto thee and to thy seed after thee. Excuse me. And it's talking about the righteous seed, the sons which were the sons of God, which became the Israelites. Okay, because before we were called Israelites, we were called the sons of the Most High. Okay, and I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession. And of course, Canaan is the land of Israel, and I will be their power. And that's talking about the righteous line, because Abraham had plenty sons, but his the blessing that went through Isaac, and the blessing from Isaac went unto Jacob, and Jacob blessed his 12 sons, which were the 12 patriarchs. Okay, and the Most High said unto Abraham, "Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed." It keeps saying thy seed, which was Abraham's offspring, his righteous offspring, the chosen offspring, which was Isaac. Every man among you shall be circumcised. All right, and that's going into the law. But let me grab this real quick, and I know I'm all over the place. Let me grab Second Ezra's. I think it's 2. Second Ezra's 2, and is it 1? It may be chapter 1. Let me see. Second Ezra's 1, and Hold on. Let me look it up real quick on my phone. Shit. It's actually 2nd Ezra 3 and 16. 2nd Ezra 3 and verse 16. Let me see if I need to start up. Yeah, I'll start up. Yep, shit. I'll start at 13. Now, when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man among them whose name was Abraham. Him thou lovedest, and unto him only thou showedest thy will, and madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed. All right, it is going to show you where the righteous line goes through. All right, in the next verse, and unto him thou gavest Isaac, and Isaac thou gavest Jacob and Esau. All right, so it showed you that Isaac had 2 sons. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee and put by Esau. So Jacob became a great multitude. So Jacob was going to be that righteous seed, that righteous line through Abraham, Isaac, and through Jacob. Okay. So let me go back to, I want to get into the birthright and how what the birthright represents. The birthright represents the covenant. The birthright represents the inheritance. All right, that Jacob would receive. So let me go to Genesis 27. I'm going to start at verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau. Actually, let me start up. Shit. Let me see, 30. Yeah, I'll just start at 30. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, Jacob was yet scarce gone out of the presence of Isaac, his father, and Esau his brother came in from hunting. He also made savory meat and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed. All right, but it was already the Most High already told Rebekah that the elder would serve the younger. All right, it was prophesied. All right, and I'm gonna go back to chapters where it said Esau despised the blessing. Okay, but Esau, being the devil that he was, okay, he tried to lie and say that Jacob, stole the blessing. When you despise the blessing, you sold the blessing. Okay, verse 34. And Esau heard the words of his father. He cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O father. He said, Thy brother came subtly, and have taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightfully named Jacob? And he have supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now have taken away my blessing. And he said, Thou hast not reserved a blessing for me. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine and corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? So he had gave him the blessing. All right, and let me see. Let me see if it says anything in this in the blue letter. About let me see. I'll go to the 36th verse and see if I can see your blessing. All right, Barak. Blessing. Let me see if it blessing, benediction, invocation of good as a father about to die. The result which is prosperity of good in every kind. Sometimes, let me see. Implication, prosperity, blessing, liberal pool, present. All right, let me see if it says anything about the birthright. I got it in Chat GPT, but I just want to I want to read it in the blue letter and see if it has any other information. Here's birthright in the same verse. Planting me these times. Birthright. Shit. There it is, birthright. Bekorah, firstborn, birthright, primogeniture, right of the firstborn, the first fistling of a man or beast, abstractly primogeniture. All right, so let me go finish this verse, and then I want to get what the birthright represents. Well, Chap basically breaks it down a little better. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing? My father blessed me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck. Okay, so Esau would live by the sword. Isaac blessed him with the sword. He blessed him with rulership. He blessed him with the fatness of the earth for a period of time. All right, for a season, for a age, but it wasn't forever, or it wasn't the kingdom of heaven. All right, so let me get. I asked ChatGPT what's the significance of the birthright in Genesis 27 chapter. In Genesis 27 chapter, the birthright itself is not the main object of negotiation. It happens earlier in Genesis 25 and 29 through 34 when Esau sells it to Jacob. But in Genesis 27, what is at stake is the blessing tied to the birthright. The chapter shows spiritual familia and covenant significance of that blessing of and why it mattered so much. Here's the significance. Patriarchal world, birthright, legal status of the firstborn, double portion of inheritance, leadership over the family, tribe, blessing, prophetic covenantal pronouncement of the Most High's favor. All right, the covenant. Who did the Lord give the law, statutes, and commandments to? All right, who was the chosen? The Israel. All right, because Jacob changed his name to Israel after he wrestled with the angel. All right, the blessing of Genesis 27 and the Abrahamic, covenant passed on. All right, that was going back to the covenant that the Most High, the covenant the Most High made with Abraham. The land, descendants, divine favor, authority over nations. That's rulership. Okay, that's the kingdom of heaven. We had that during the reign of King David and King Solomon for 40 years, for 80 years total. All right, but it wasn't forever. All right, we went off as a nation. We transgressed the laws, statutes, and commandments that we were supposed to keep in the first covenant. Therefore, we're in the position. We went through several captivities, and we're in the position we are in now, where the Lord, took our heritage from us and stripped us from everything. But now we're gaining it back. All right, it says with the spiritual counterpart to the birthright, whomever received the blessing became the covenant heir. Okay, so that is the covenant is not given to Esau. It's clearly showing you that. So how can Esau partake in any of the blessings of the kingdom of heaven, the second covenant? All right, when he was never a part of it. Okay, the covenant heir. Okay, and let me go back to I said I was going to get Genesis 25. Because everyone like, oh, he stole the birthright. No, he didn't steal the birthright. He sold the birthright. Okay? And Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink and arose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. He despised the birthright. That's why he sold it for a pottage of lentils. Okay? Excuse me. All right. And the Most High didn't change He didn't change from the time when he made the covenant with Abraham to the time he made from the time that he um that Isaac blessed Jacob. He didn't change from the time when Moses received the law and gave it to Israel. All right, the Most High has remained constant, consistent throughout eternity. Okay, it's Malachi 3:6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. The Lord changed, and we will be through it. Okay, but the Lord he's going to keep his word. He's going to hold his word higher than his name. Okay, but these dumbass Israelites, all right, they'll use word salad and try to make it seem like, oh yeah, it says nations right here. That means the nations can be saved. No, were the nations a part of the covenant? Who did the Lord make a covenant with? Okay, shit, what is that? I think it's no, not this. Um, four. No, Salakia. I think it's a chapter before. Moses on Sinai. Moses went down. People think. Yeah, he's just talking about the Moses going up, coming down from the mount. Let me see. Well, these are 10 Commandments. But yeah, the law was given. Clearly, the law was given to Israel. All right, it wasn't. We always go to this chapter right here because it's good because it shows you the separation from Israel and the nations. This is Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord Yahawah, my power, commanded me that ye should do them in the land whether you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. Okay, this is what separates us, the law, statutes, and commandments, which consist of which were the first covenant, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this is a great nation. Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. What nation is there so great, who have the Most High so nigh unto them, as the Lord our power in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgment so righteous as all this law which is set before you this day? All right, so the law was set before who? Israel. Okay, that's who the covenant, the first covenant was. Shit, actually, I wrote it. I had that scripture written down. Let me go to Exodus. It's Exodus 34:27. I forgot I put that down. And the Lord said unto Moses, write thou these words, the law, statutes, and commandments, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. And he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 Commandments, the words of the covenant. That was part of the covenant. Okay, let me get Psalms Psalms 50. Gather my 50 and 5. Gather my saints unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. That's only talking about one nation, Israel. Okay, so going back to the birthright. All right, let me see if it said anything else in here. Rebecca and Jacob act because God had already foretold destiny. Esau shows the weight of despising the birthright. Genesis 27 explained two nations: Jacob, Israel; Esau, Edom. Let me see. Summarizing the significance: covenantal, Jacob becomes the heir of God's promise to Abraham and Isaac. Okay, the covenant is the birthright is the birthright is rulership. The birthright is the kingdom of heaven. The birthright is the covenants, the first and second covenants. Okay, who the Lord is going to who the Lord's going to eventually we're going to be in the second covenant is only going to be for Israel. All right, so why would the Lord save heathens just to why would the Lord save heathens so they could be a part of the second covenant? They weren't a part of the first covenant. Okay, the Lord doesn't change. The Lord is he's not going to change. He's not going to include. And it says that I'm going to get it in Jeremiah 31 and 31. All right, the second covenant. Okay, where the Lord is going to take the stony heart and give us a heart of flesh. But I want to get Romans 1 and Romans 9 and well, I'll start at 3. This is Paul speaking. I wish I could have. I wish For I wish, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption. Those are the only ones that can be brought back. Those Gentiles that are Israelite foreigners scattered that can come back. Okay, that can be reconciled to the Father. All right, through Yahawashi, and the glory and the covenants. All right, it's with an S, plural covenants, the first and the second covenant, and giving of the law and the services of the Most High and the promises, whose are the fathers, and whom, as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came, who is over all, the Most High blessed forever. Amen. All right, so I had Jeremiah 31 and 31, a new covenant. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man, Israel and Judah, northern and southern kingdom, and with the seed of beast. And it shall come to pass that, like as I have watched over them, to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict and to watch over them, to build and to plant, saith the Lord. In those days they shall no more the fathers have eaten a sour grape, the children's teeth are set on edge. Actually, let me just get to the point. Hell, I'm only one verse where I read it. But everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. It's the new covenant. We're not in the new covenant yet. Okay, we're in between covenants. Okay, we're not being held to the standard of the old covenant, the first covenant, by the standard of the judgments that come with breaking the laws. Okay, because we're under grace right now through the blood of Yahawashi. Okay, but we're not in the second covenant because we're not made perfect. We're still under this captivity. We still sin. Okay, we still have wicked thoughts. Okay, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them, as the first covenant, took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. With my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. But it shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord Yahawah. I will put my law in their inward parts and write in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. They shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall all know me, for from the least unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sins no more. All right, that's the second covenant. The second covenant has never been extended to the heathens, extended to Edomites. Okay, so that shows you Edomite cannot receive salvation. Okay, because they didn't receive the blessing. Okay, the salvation comes with the blessing. Okay, I'm gonna get Ezekiel 37 and Where is it? Is it this 37? Yeah, I think it's up. Maybe it's 38. Let me see. Shit. Come on, I went to the next chapter. It's lucky. I'm tripping. No, it's not. Let me see. Yeah, bear with me 1 second. Let me look up something. Yeah, Ezekiel 36. I'm tripping. Ezekiel 36 and verse. Yeah, I just started 22. Therefore, say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord power, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, for my holy name's sake, for ye have profaned among the heathen whither ye went. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them, and the heathen shall know that I am the Lord, saith the Lord power, when I shall be sanctified in you before your eyes. I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries, and I will bring you into your own land. That's the deliverance. That's salvation. Okay, where the Lord is going to gather the scattered elect amongst the heathens, all right, that are scattered, that's following the customs and worship, that were in, in these different religions, but they're going to come out of that, and the Lord's going to deliver them from the destruction. Okay, and then I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. All right, that's going to come after the trying of our faith, the hour of temptation, where we're going to be made clean. It's starting with the elect, and then of course, to the 2/3, that's going to be, born again. Will come to the loins of the elect. Okay, but the Lord is going to clean His elect up first. All right, from all your filthiness and from all your idols, I will cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. That's the second covenant. All right, having the law, statutes, and commandments written in us. So that's the spirit. That's the new spirit the Lord is going to put in us. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart, and I will give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them. All right, the Lord, we're going to walk in the Lord's law, statutes, commandments, and we're going to be perfect. Okay, that's part of the promises. That's part of the second covenant that has never been extended to Esau or the heathens. Okay, in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to be perfect. All right, but the heathens aren't. They're still going to have, they're still going to be in fleshly like they are now. Okay. Let me see what else I had. I think that pretty much was it. I just I've been going through brothers' videos and seeing these these Genesis guys, or whether it's GOCC or it's a Bach or whoever, and they come with this Gentile argument, but it's lame, it's old. Okay, whatever money you received, it ain't gonna be enough to buy you salvation. Okay, so a lot of these guys, they pretty much through, man. They might as well just be niggas, be rappers, be podcasters, and go back in the world and wait on the missile. Okay, and go go walk hand in hand with the heathens and tell them they could be saved. Okay, but you can't save them. All right, it wasn't meant for them to be saved. The only ones that can be saved are Israelites. Okay, according to the scriptures, according to the prophecies, according to the covenants, according to the blessing. Okay, according to the birthright. All right. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the hopeful elect, and I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakudash, Shalom.